Night on Bald Mountain. It's not just a classical composition. It's a musical story of a witch's Sabbath, where dark forces gather under the cover of night. Picture this, a desolate mountaintop where witches and demons convene, celebrating their unholy rites. The music captures their profane revelry like a dark, menacing beast of symphonic sound that seems to stalk its listener like some infernal hound of hell. But there's so much more than that. There's an even darker side to this work. The original composer might not have been writing about fiction at all, but about real mountains known to be inhabited by real witches and demons. And it would seem he even tried to channel the power of these witches and demons by composing his work on the very night that they were said to meet. Could this work be forged from black magic? Let's find out. Mussorgsky, now a towering figure